Good morning. Hi. It is Thursday, February 12th. I'm T. Waldron, and my cat Pumpkin has been sitting here for 45 minutes, and now she just got up to have a drink of water. But I'm glad you're staying hydrated, Pumpkin. We're on the live, so feel free to come back anytime you want. Come on. She may or may not. She's a cat. So I hope you're having a great day. It warmed up a little. Thank God all that ice we had the other morning yesterday did melt. And now the roads are clear, the sidewalks are clear. We had a little snow last night, but it wasn't too bad. But yeah, it's we're in the middle of winter here in New England. So this is what we signed up for. It's all good. Let's do a little bit of deep breathing today. I want to focus on your heart, okay? So I'm going to cue you to start breathing slowly and deeply, and then I'm going to tell you to focus on some different things to think about. Because when our heart and our brain are coherent, we actually can unleash the power of electromagnetism. Okay, so if you can, close your eyes. Let's inhale through our nose and exhale through our mouth. Inhale and exhale. So right now, I want you to focus on your heart. And our heart is the center for emotions. It's magnetic. So right now, think about an emotion, a positive emotion. You could think about gratitude. You could think about joy. You could think about peace. Just start to feel it. Feel it in your chest. Give it attention. Where our attention goes, our energy flows. So we're just focusing on our heart and I'm feeling grateful. I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful for the breath. I'm grateful for this beautiful day. When we're feeling in gratitude, it shuts down our animal nervous system, the one that does fight or flight. So we can really regulate our bodies by focusing on gratitude, by focusing on relaxation, by focusing on peace. But mainly gratitude, because there's no room for anything else when you're in gratitude. So inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Thanks for coming back. And yes, okay, I know. And then if you keep focusing on your heart and that gratitude that's in your heart, eventually the energy will go up to your brain and you'll find your incoherence. So this is just a really powerful practice that you can do if you ever feel stressed out or dysregulated, or even if you just want to find a little bit more relaxation in your life. So allow that heart to feel that gratitude, that peace, that joy, whatever you choose. And then eventually your brain becomes coherent right with your heart. So continue breathing slowly and deeply as we chat. So good morning, everybody. Yeah, we've been reading. Yesterday, we started checking this book out. It's The Body Keeps Score by Bessel van der Kolk. And I love this subheading, Brain, Mind, two separate things, and body in the healing of trauma. So we heard yesterday how he had his internship when he was a young student at one of Harvard's patient hospitals. And he got to do the activities for the patients. And he noticed that the patients who had traumatic experiences had a hard time moving their bodies. And then I was talking about how he later did studies with yoga. So I want to just share this with you. Fast forward to 1998. Our involvement with yoga started with Jim Hopper, and when I first heard about a new biological marker, heart rate variability, that recently had been discovered to be a good measure of how well the autonomic nervous system is working. So that's our automatic one, autonomic, right? Good morning, Art. Good to see ya. Yeah, so as you recall he talks about previous chapter, the autonomic nervous system is our brain's most elementary survival system. Its two branches regulate arousal throughout the body. Roughly speaking, the sympathetic nervous system uses chemicals like adrenaline to fuel the body and the brain to take action, while the parasympathetic nervous system uses acetylcholine to help regulate basic body functions like digestion, wound healing, sleep, and dream cycles. When we are at our best, these two systems work closely together to keep us in an optimal state of engagement with our environment and with ourselves. So that way that's what we just tried to do is get our heart coherent and calm down in case we were in fight or flight. Heart rate variability measures the relative balance between the sympathetic and parasympathetic systems. When we inhale, we stimulate the sympathetic nervous system, which results in an increase in the heart rate. Exhalations simulate the parasympathetic nervous system, which decreases how fast the heart beats. I didn't know that. That's very cool. In healthy individuals, inhalations and exhalations produce steady rhythmic fluctuations in heart rate. Good heart rate variability is a measure of basic well-being. But why is it important? Good question. When our autonomic nervous system is well balanced, we have a reasonable degree of control over, that's what we were just trying to do, over our response to minor frustrations and disappointments, enabling us to calmly assess what is going on if we feel insulted or left out. Effective modulation gives us control over our impulses and our emotions. Okay, so it's for controlling. That's very cool. As long as we manage to stay calm, we can choose how we want to respond. And we've said that so many times on here. Hey, Harvey, welcome back. Good to see you. Pumpkin, Harvey says hello. Yeah. You like a good neurological discussion first thing in the morning. Well, cheers to you. I appreciate that. Oh, by the way, stay hydrated. This is just water. Okay. So we want to be in control of how we respond to things, right? We don't want to just react. We want to respond. So let's see how we're going to do that here, how he says to do that. Individuals with poorly modulated autonomic nervous systems are easily thrown off balance, both mentally and physically. So that's pretty wild. Since the autonomic nervous system organizes arousal in both body and brain, poor heart rate variability, that is a lack of fluctuation in your heart rate in response to breathing, has not only negative effects on thinking and feeling, but also on how the body responds to stress. So that is amazing because we talk about how we slow our breath down. And that is speaking right to how we're regulating our nervous system. And he's backing this up. So that's kind of nice. I like that. Yeah, poker face. Yeah, right. I know. Pumpkin, do you have any emotions about this whole topic? No. She is purring really loudly, though. Let me see if I could turn this so you can see her. Here she is. There you go, Harvey. I know. Thanks for tuning in. And I told her, I said, some people are just tuning in to see you, which is cool, right? Yeah. So lack of coherence between breathing and heart rate makes people vulnerable to a variety of physical illnesses, such as heart disease and cancer, in addition to mental problems such as depression and PTSD. Wow, I didn't know that. In order to study the issue further, we acquired a machine to measure heart rate variability and started to test subjects. So he went on to talk about this. But he said our next scientific, so they did some tests and everything. Our next scientific question was, is there a way for people to improve their heart rate variability? So he had a personal incentive to explore this question as he tested himself and found out that his heart rate variability was terrible. So he's like, well, how can I fix this? So I like that because he's human, I like that. He's just sharing this personal thing. An internet search turned up studies showing that marathon running markedly increased heart rate variability. Sadly, that was of little use to me because I was not a candidate for marathon running, nor were my patients. So Google at that time listed 17,000 yoga sites claiming that yoga improved heart rate variability. So that's how we got on the yoga kick, because I was surprised. He didn't strike me as the kind of guy that was, into yoga, but this is why. Since then, scientific methods have confirmed that changing the way one breathes can improve problems with anger, depression, and anxiety, and that yoga can positively affect such a wide-ranging medical problems as high blood pressure, elevated stress, hormone secretion, asthma, lower back pain, and more. However, no psychiatric journal had published a scientific study of yoga for PTSD until our own work appeared in 2014. So then they proved that it helped with the PTSD. So isn't that wild? So, he said, how can I fix my heart rate variability? They said marathons. He said no. And then he Googled it. He said, oh, yoga. A lot of yoga sites are claiming that helps. And then he did his own scientific study in 2014 to prove it. So I think that's very cool. I like to hear the backstory of how things get discovered. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what, Harvey, this is what that's a great comment. And he said, my anxiety makes my heart rate go up, and I hate that. Absolutely. But the whole point of this is that through breathing, you can slow it down. Like if you sort of, there's another thing, maybe try, and it's, I'm not a doctor, but this has helped me. When I get upset about something, I read somewhere that if you can say, like let's say somebody cuts you off. That's my go-to example because it happens. So you're driving, somebody cuts you off, and you're angry and you're upset. I say, wow, I really hate the way that driver cut me off. It really makes me angry, and I'm feeling some tension about that. By saying it to, and you don't have to say it out loud. You can say it in your mind, or if you're alone, you can say it out loud. I find it more effective if I can say it out loud. It works better, but you can even say it in your mind, and it still works. Because you're taking your attention out of your animal part of your brain, and you're putting it into your prefrontal cortex, which is your thinking part, and it takes the emotion out of it. So it's really very powerful. So maybe give that a try and see if that does anything for your situation. I don't know, because we can change this. That's the beauty of it. Like I was like that too before. I was very reactive and very angry all the time and stressed out and stuff like that. And now I try to slow down a little bit, and even if I'm in a rush, I'll try to just do some deep breathing and not let stuff get to me. And it's a practice. It's like going to the gym. It's really hard, but once you do it, it's so good. So give it a try. And Art, you said, how's my mom? I guess she's good. I didn't call her yesterday. Oh well, I'm sure she's fine. Yeah, I read that trauma can be inherited. Do you think that is true? If so, is it learned or genetic? Ooh, that's a great question. Wow. Yes. Okay, so they did a study on some, I think it was rats or mice. It was some sort of rodent. And they paired a smell with something traumatic for these rats. I don't remember. It might have been the smell of lilacs, and it was something stressful to them. And then they bred these rats, and they didn't do the same stress for like a generation or two. It wasn't just the next generation. It was maybe 2 or 3 generations down the line. And they exposed those rats to that same smell, and they became traumatized. They became stressed out from that smell. So yes, you can, I think, that test shows me that you can pass down trauma through generations. I never believed it until I read that study, but I guess that makes sense. But I don't know. But also, hold on, you can also change what you find. You can neutralize your trauma with through work, and not have that response. So it's called epigenetics, so above genetics. So even if you had that, let's say you were that 3rd generation rat that was stressed out with lavender, if they, perhaps went to the right kind of therapy and, went through a different process, they can release that trauma. So very interesting stuff. Yeah. Hey, Royal Knights, welcome. Let's see, talking to yourself is okay, but when you answer yourself, not so much. Oh, I don't know, Harvey. You know what? Sometimes that's what your intuition needs to, I've been actually asking myself stuff, and it comes I'll come up with the answer. So I don't know. I think it's kind of fun. Yeah, Pumpkin got it all figured out. She sure does. Right, Pumpkin? Yeah. Hey, Royal Knights, welcome. All right, well, listen, I've got to go. I'm getting to go teach some Tai Chi, and then I'm meeting with a friend of mine. It was so funny. So she said, hey, because I do talks, and she said, send me a flyer for the talk you're doing in March. So I did. I just sent her I worked it up really quick. And she goes, hey, I printed out a bunch of these and I'm gonna give them to other places. She goes, but you didn't put your contact info on. I said, it was just for you, just to see if you like the topic. So I gotta go over there soon, and I'm gonna bring her some of my business cards, and we're gonna attach them to the flyers this morning. So I get to see my friend. That'll be fun. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and yeah. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great day. And hey, Shrimp Porky, welcome back. And thanks for the visit, Art and Harvey and Royal Knights. Pumpkin, you want to say goodbye? Nope, she's a cat. All right, everybody, have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow, 8 a.m. Thanks.